Now we're back in the garage, all the bikes are tucked away, including the GB250. I just thought I'd talk you through it a bit more, talk you through what I've done so far, and talk you through the plans, maybe, not sure yet. So far, I've really been focusing on getting it roadworthy. So all the wiring was all over the place. The headlight didn't work, Parkers didn't work. It didn't have rear indicators. So I had these ones on the front, and I bought these ones from a local auto shop. They are approved for road use in Australia, which is great. They're LED, so they look a bit fresh. They're a temporary LED because I don't really like the style of them compared to the style of the bike. Most things are round and not so modern, not so pointy. Pass roadworthy. Did not have a rear guard brake tail light, so I also got this one from the same shop, and it's also approved, also LED. Might keep this one because I like the look of it. It looks clean, not quite sure yet. So they're the stock indicators that came with the bike. I only had two. It needs tires. I'll go to the front one. The front one has very, very bad age cracks. I think they actually made, here we go. There's all the bad age cracks on the sidewalls. I found the date before and they were 17 built, so 7 years old, which is no good. So I got some new tyres, hopefully arriving tomorrow, so I'll put them on. Got some Bridgestones. I asked a few groups and people recommended the Bridgestones. So yeah, the wiring was a nightmare. That took me a good week to fix. It's all in here. None of the gauges worked. Tacho didn't work, wasn't hooked up. None of these lights worked properly. Speedo worked though, because it's a cable operated speedo, so that was okay. I doubt it's done 10,000 Ks. None of these switches worked. The only switch that worked here was the start and kill switch, this switch here. Luckily the switches so the switches worked, but they just weren't quick connected. I haven't had to replace any of those things, so that saved me time and money. Luckily there were spare switches in the box that the seller gave me. The battery was cooked, so I got a new battery. That's cheap. It's a small battery, so probably get a lithium battery in the future. So yeah, a little bit more about the bike. Import only, as I might have said in voiceover already. Originally from Japan, I only sold these in Japan. Closely related to the CBX 250 RS. More sporty bike, like it's got more fairings and stuff. Engine I believe is exactly the same, except the CBX came with the twin carb. This has only got a single carb, but I believe some of the CBXs still came with a single carb, so my knowledge doesn't go very far. And oh yeah, I put these pegs on as well. You need to have pegs for both, for the rider and the passenger, so didn't have the rear pegs, so I just got these from an online shop. Look okay, they'll do the job. The clutch was completely out of adjustment. I took it for a test ride, could barely change gears. You really had to wait for the revs to drop, so the clutch was grabbing quite bad. So I adjusted that. Obviously the adjustment up here. So you got the adjustment down here as well. So I backed that off a bit and it now changes beautifully. It doesn't slip and it doesn't grab, which is great. So it's got these funky shocks on as well. I'm not sure what they're from or what brand they are. There's nothing wrong with them, they don't leak. They're not too hard, so they'll do the job for now. What else? So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned the guard that was missing. So that guard was just a universal one. I got it on eBay for 35 bucks. So put some screws, some bolts through the frame. There's some holes perfectly lined up. I'll cut those short. I only did it yesterday, so been busy doing other things. Grips were weird plastic grips. So I got these nice soft rubber ones, and I think they still look okay. I mentioned the gauges already. That was a real nightmare. That took me ages and a lot of head scratching, a lot of probing. The problem is though, because it's an imported bike, there is very little English documentation around for this bike. As I said, the CBX 250 RS is related, but also limited documentation for that as well. I did find a workshop manual because it came with multiple looms, and I'm not sure if the looms were different, they're custom made or something like that, because the colors just didn't match. It's okay though, because I got it all working. That's the main thing. So it's going for a roadworthy on Thursday. So I'm pretty confident it will pass. Apart from the tires, which I'm doing tomorrow or Tuesday, I don't think there is anything that will fail. I do have to put a red reflector on the back though, so there's probably more things, but I forget. I've got a list somewhere.
One eternity later.
All right, it's been a hot minute since I've worked on the bike. Also been a while since I've shot the video that you just saw. That was shot almost a month ago now, I think. So bike is now roadworthy and almost registered. So I've had a few issues. When I went for the roadworthy, I had 4 things I needed to sort out. 3 of them which I knew about already, but the other one caused a bit of issues. So the exhaust was too loud and that caused me a little bit of dramas. This has been annoying. I first tried steel wool just to baffle it a bit of packing, whatnot. Didn't work at all. I took it back thinking it had worked a little bit, but still too loud. So I went on trusty eBay and I got one of these. Goes in the end of the exhaust and that quietened down a lot. That worked, got it down. Only 2 decibels, still only 2 decibels lower than the requirement, which is 94 decibels. So it's still 92 decibels, even with this thing. So that's kind of amazing. Yeah, that's it for roadworthy. So now it is on to registration. So I'm not going to film that. So there'll be 2-second transition and it'll be registered. So here we go.
2,000 years later.
So the bike is now registered. I decided to go with full registration. In Victoria, you can opt for, if the vehicle is older than 25 years, you can get club reg or historic reg, whatever you want to call it. Which I was going to, but I wasn't quite sure on what club to join. And I want to join a good club. I want to join a club that does club days and actually has a good community around it, not just somewhere where, not just a place for getting your bike registered. I want to go and actually meet people and go for rides and whatnot. But getting it registered wasn't without its dramas, unfortunately. So firstly, I'll show you. When I was coming back from Rego, the first issue was the number plates have changed the mounting screws where they go. So I test fitted my number plate from my KTM, fitted perfectly on the number plate bracket. Then I get there, doesn't fit, doesn't have 2 of the holes which I was originally used. It's got 4 holes on the top. I use the 2 in the middle from the KTM number plate. New plates don't have those, so that's, yes, I didn't know that. So oh well, I just screwed on really tight on one corner and I said I'll deal with it when I go home. But then when I go home, I find this. So that's the tail light. It was just sitting like that with the number plate still attached, and yeah, it come loose. It was only a cheap one, fortunately. I've already got a replacement from Super Cheap Auto, so that's fine. So not without issues, unfortunately. But other than that, oh, there is one more issue actually. Where the seat goes, so that's where the seat mounts. So this is the seat. It goes in the back there, that clips on, the little latchy thing. And that sits on like a piece of plate on the front. Now that plate is very thin and is bending, as you can see. It's bent. And I tried to reinforce it with a bit of bar in there, but it didn't work as I thought it would. So I'm gonna have to cut them off and weld something stronger on. So a bit of a pain in the ass. I thought I could feel it rattling on the way home and it wasn't good, so yeah. Anyway, that's the little project. This will be the end of the video, the actual end, even though I shot the footage you just saw ages ago. Hopefully the next video is some cool rollers and taking out for a ride in hills. Alright, until next time.